Welcome back to the If I Don't Laugh, I'll Cry show podcast. I'm Christina Johnson, and today we have a treat. We have Miss Lenora Ross here as our guest on the podcast today. Lenora Ross is a wife, mother, and cake blogger at heavenmycake.com, where she offers simple advice on cake decoration. She's also the host of the Growing My Light podcast, where she encourages women to keep growing their light by speaking with positive examples who are shining brightly. Miss Lenora, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well, and I'm so excited to be here talking with you and being a part of your platform and everything. I love everything that you do. So thank you for this
Oh my
opportunity.
gosh, you are so welcome. It's such a treat. I'm so happy to have you here. So thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
So let's just jump right in because I want to learn more about you.
Yes. Yay.
Okay, so let's start off with like just a little introduction. Your name, where are you from, what do you do?
Lenora Ross, and I live in Florida. I basically blog. I don't work. I stay home and I just try to create with cakes and with my podcast, Grow My Light podcast. So I pretty much just do that most of the day, try to do my social media, do my blog posts, do research and all that stuff. Get in the kitchen, make tutorials and things. So I like being in that direction. I used to sell cakes, but I don't really like doing that anymore, which we'll get into. But yeah, I do that now. So that's basically my life right now. I'm a stay-at-home mom, wife, just trying to make the most of my situation, you know.
I love
And
your tutorials. Like
thank you.
every
Yay.
time one of yours comes up on the screen, like I'm like, yes, algorithm, you love me today. And I get I
That
get to
makes me
watch.
feel good when people tell me that. Like, keep going, keep making the videos, and it gives me that spark of energy. Like people care. Somebody out there cares about what I'm doing. So
Absolutely. And those tips are so crucial because a lot of times
mhm,
we see like this beautiful cake or beautiful set of cupcakes, but we don't know what it requires like to get
mhm,
it to look like that and how to manipulate your ingredients
mhm.
and just how to really get from like A to Z. So your tutorials are so good.
I'm really trying to really break it down piece by piece, like little things that people don't really talk about.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of cake decorating stuff, and there's like things that people don't talk about. So I'm trying to do those things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, ooh, I never heard that before. Like kind of something like that.
Absolutely. So I love that. And so like that's a little transition into like let's explore that a little bit more.
Mhm.
And so when did everything like change for you? Why did you decide your niche was going to be cakes and growing your light? Like how did that
Mhm.
start?
So I never really did cakes or anything like that. Never. I'm not the one that's in the kitchen making anything. Like the only reason why I cook is because I'm married. And my husband is a Southern man and he needs his dinner. Okay. So I make, that's the only reason why I cook is for him and for my family. Other than that, I wouldn't be in the kitchen.
Uh,
So, I grew up where I would go home and eat at my mom's house or go to my grandma's house or go to my sister's house and eat. That's what I would do. I wouldn't have to really cook for myself,
yeah, like a
you
full-on
know?
meal.
Yeah. So with baking, I never really baked like that either. So after I got married, I grew up in Pennsylvania, then we moved to North Carolina. Then in North Carolina, that's where I met my husband. And from there, he was in the army. So then we moved to Germany after that. About 2 years after that, had our daughter, moved to
Oh, wow.
Germany. And in Germany, I'm by myself. Literally, the first time in my life, I'm by myself. I can't go nowhere and
Right.
know anyone or be familiar with anyone. So the way to give myself something to do was to cake decorate. I was just drawn to looking at cake decorating online, like a lot of people are, right? A lot of people love it. It's satisfying to
Oh
watch,
yeah.
but then I really wanted to do it and explore it. So I started doing it. I would post a picture. I never really promoted myself as a baker or someone that wants to sell cakes, but I would post it, and people would, or friends like in the military, like army wives and stuff, would come to me to make cakes and stuff. So that's how it started. So my husband was a part of like different things. So I'd make, would sell cupcakes for that, and and all of that. So that's how it started. And then it kind of got a lot, right? So I have a 1 year old. I'm married like 2 years by this
Yeah.
time, 2, 3 years, and I'm army wife in a new country, trying to navigate being married, trying to do something new, and it's just all clashing together. And so I couldn't like do everything. So I decided from there, that's when it kind of got off and on my cake decorating. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I'll pick what I want to do, but I really don't want to do it full time because it was a lot of work.
Right.
And I wanted to go to work. I go to actual work. So I worked in like pharmacy and healthcare and all that stuff
Ooh, that's something
throughout.
new.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
never
didn't
talked
know
about
about
that.
that.
Yeah, I worked in two different pharmacies, and I worked in healthcare, like making appointments. I did that too,
Okay.
and didn't like doing that.
I hear
But
you.
pharmacy was good. But then after that, I didn't really work. I haven't worked since 2017. I haven't had an actual job that I had to clock into. So
That is a beautiful
2017.
thing.
So we were in North Carolina at the time. Then we moved back to Florida. So then when we moved back to Florida, I decided that I would sell cakes, but I was going to figure out like a menu or something, right? But I didn't like having to do all these flavors and be like so exclusive and blah blah blah. I don't want to do any of that. I just wanted to just like make a cake, like make a custom cake or something like that.
Yes.
So I kept going back to things that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do. And so I was like, finally, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to focus on like building a community online and doing my cakes that way. And I started getting more comfortable and showing myself, making the
Mhm.
tutorials and stuff. Like all this is new. Like the last 2, 3 years is when I really started doing all of this online. So, but yeah, that's how it kind of all my cake decorating kind of came alive.
I mean, just hearing your origin story is like insane because being in another country, not
Yeah.
knowing anybody, and you're like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know
Hmm.
anybody. And so it's amazing how you took cake decorating and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do this and give it out.
Hmm.
And that's honestly how most businesses start because it
Hmm.
starts from a passion because you do it
Hmm.
because you love it. You give it away because you love it. And so it all
Hmm.
comes from like a good place and other people, they can like taste it. Like when I
Hmm.
had extra sugar bakery, they're like, "What's the secret ingredient?" I can tell you. The
Hmm.
secret ingredient is love and people can
Yeah.
taste it. So it's like when it comes from a passion, it's just like 10 times better. So thank
Hmm.
you for sharing that with us. I love to hear that.
Yes, yes.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
welcome.
Okay, so when do you feel most inspired and alive? If you had to like just put it out there.
Hmm. I like being around like music, food. We love to barbecue. We barbecue all the time. My husband's known for grilling. Like that's how much.
Love it.
So we like I just love doing that. I love dancing, going out dancing. Like just being able to just be me and be in that space where I'm just like not really thinking about anything and just letting, I don't know, just letting my soul free in a way.
Yeah.
And that does inspire me. It inspires me to be happy, to be positive, to be, to go with the flow, to be
Yes.
patient, to be, you know what I mean? Like music and dancing and food and, being around people, good conversation, listening to podcasts, meeting people like you know what I mean? Just really being around that, like always good vibes, like having good vibes is really inspiring.
Oh my
Like being
gosh. Well,
outside. Yeah.
I'm going to your house for the barbecue and the cakes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I know where I'm going.
Yes,
And,
we
you
should.
know, with your dancing, like movement is such a way of like that we can express ourselves.
Mhm.
and it's just so freeing to dance and move your body. So I
Mhm.
definitely see how you literally feel like you become alive and inspired
Yeah.
when you get
Mhm.
yeah, when you dance. That's that's my husband trying to be
Oh.
okay, so what is the next question? What is the most important thing that you've learned in your life, like, so far? And
Um, yeah,
what was
sorry.
your life like, after learning it?
The most important thing for me my whole life has been to stick to my values, like no matter what. Like if I don't like something, if I do like something, if something makes me uncomfortable, like listening to myself and always thinking like, is this right for you? Is this right for you? Type thing, and sticking to your values because it's so easy to sell out. It's so easy to do what everybody else is doing and you know what I mean, like mimic someone and it's so easy to do that. Yeah, be inspired by people and you use their stuff
Yes.
to, open up what you already have. But definitely to stick to your values, if anything.
I think that that's so important now because with your values, like no matter what's going on around you, it's almost like you can stay like centered and like,
Yeah.
okay, if there's a big flashy red, I don't know, light here, like, oh, all the, cakers are doing this or all the bloggers are doing this, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to get distracted by the big shiny thing over here. I'm going to stay
Mhm.
focused on what I'm doing, what my passion is, and how I'm, serving my community. And with that, like, no matter what's going on, it really helps you stay grounded. And
Mhm.
I can agree with that because my like, I guess I would say values, but I like lead with intuition. Like I'm really
Yeah.
huge on intuition and like whatever the first thought is, I go with it because that
Mhm.
comes from your gut. So it's like, do
Mhm.
I want to do this? Yes or no?
Exactly. Mhm.
So it's like, does this sound like, okay, this is gonna help me achieve my goals or
Mhm.
this all of that. So it really is like a whole like 360, like a circle. Like it
Yeah,
all
it
just
is.
it keeps you whole too and like almost
Mhm.
protect your energy when you're able
Mhm.
to just stick with your values and just go through your whole life like that.
Mhm. Yeah. 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 It has helped me, like, has kept me safe, has like everything, gave me understanding, understanding of others, because some people don't. And, you have to be aware of, is this person that I'm speaking to and I'm hanging out with, are they sticking to their values when we're hanging out? Because people get comfortable. I don't want you to be comfortable around me. I want you to be who you are for real. You know what I mean? Just be who you are. So,
It's so true. Have you ever been around somebody that is just like a yes person and like everything you
hmm
say is just like, "Oh yeah, I like cakes. Me too. I have a
yeah,
blog. Oh,
yeah.
me too." It's like,
hmm
I don't think you're doing the same thing as me.
No,
You
no.
know, it's like we don't want followers. We want real people who have real
hmm
passions and who are doing real things and aren't just like copycats or just
hmm
are like yes people because they want to fit in with you or like be your friend. It's like, no, no, no.
hmm
What do you like? Like
hmm
let's take it a little bit deeper
Yeah.
and be real.
hmm
So
hmm
it's so true. My gosh. There was like something beeping around here, so I'll figure what
You're
that
not
is.
in your normal zone, so.
I'm not quite sure what that was, but that's okay. So if you hear that on the replay, you guys, I am sorry. There was a random beep that happened here where I am recording today. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone just starting out in your space in both cake, if someone is, wanting to start either like a business or how you're doing your blogging, just in the whole like atmosphere? What's one piece of advice you would recommend?
I would say, I know this sounds like whatever, but like to research like what you want to do and research and courage. I want to put those together because you got to be able to like implement what you're researching, have the courage to put it out. It's so easy to just like kind of sit at your desk and like, oh, I have all these ideas, but to actually do the research, put it together, put it out, like that's a whole nother beast, like
It is.
so, but like for my blog, I researched a year before I actually
Wow.
like got my domain and all that stuff. So a whole year before I was researching, reading everything, reading specific people and what they did. So in that year when I was reading about that, I didn't know what they were talking about. I just knew I think I want to do a blog. I want to share more,
Right.
right? Because you're not posting for social media. You're supposed to post for you, like for your website, right? You want to bring people off social media to your website,
Yeah.
right? So it's like it's a lot, like there's a lot of layers to that, so figuring out all that and then having the understanding of each component of how it all works, right? Having a blog, what do I need to do to get people to my site? I don't get a lot of people to my blog. Like I'm still working on it, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. So there's a lot of things. There's emails, there's planning the blog post, searching the blog post, and I just recently started paying for a keyword search, like at like
Ah,
things, so that way I can look up what people are searching for, something that's deeper than just doing it on Google. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Something
yes.
that can really let me know what
Mhm.
people are actually searching for and how many people are searching for that actual thing. So yeah, it's a lot. And like talking about cake decorating, like I want to go off to other things to talk about other things, but
Right.
I need to focus, focus, focus. So yeah, doing your research. And what I was gonna say was that the things that I learned like in that year of me just researching, when I like towards the end of the year and when I started actually getting serious about it, and then I would go back to those things that I researched. And I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
It connects,
Okay.
yeah.
Like, so you have to do the research and go back and look at stuff. And that's how you familiarize yourself with things, regardless what it is, if it's blogging, if it's art, if it's dancing, if it's, anything, you know what I mean? Building a course or whatever it is you want to do, it's good to know what you're doing so that way how it goes.
And it's also like over, X amount of time, you also like connect the dots.
Yeah, you
Because
connect the
I've
dots. Hmm.
I've seen things before, like even for like my own blog and SEO and keyword
Yes,
search. And
SEO.
I'm like,
Hmm.
what are they talking about keywords? Like, what?
Hmm.
This is like, obviously this is very early on when we're learning about blogging and how we can
Hmm.
gain like traffic without paying.
Hmm.
Whoop, hold on
Yeah,
one second.
right.
Guys. Um, and okay, we were talking about SEO. And
Hmm.
so just trying to gain traffic to your blog because you want like your own, followers and community that are on like
Hmm.
your social, but it's also great to use the blog as a source for people who are just searching for that topic or that
Yeah.
skill, if you're teaching about buttercream, um piping tips, whatever it is, and someone who wants to learn more about that, for them to find you. What SEO do I have to put in the
Yeah.
title so that they find you? And it's not easy. It's not
So it's
easy.
really like Pinterest. Like you have to like put pins on Pinterest all the time. And it's like I post to 7 different platforms. Like I think I told you that I post
Yes.
like to 7 different things. So that's not recommended. So don't do that. Like have one thing and then you build off that. But I kind of started everything kind of at once. And so like I have like it's a lot.
You're my hero with
But
7 platforms. I know it's a lot. Girl, who you talking to? I know it's a lot. 7,
yeah.
like, you're my hero, and yours are up to date, and, like, you're doing
Yeah,
awesome.
I try, but that's the thing. Like, I need to focus so that way my real goal is to bring the traffic to my blog. So,
Right.
from moving forward, I'm being more strategic about how I do that and have my content correlate with that, and then have whatever paid content or whatever I have, or free content, paid content, whatever, kind of all, connect everything how you're supposed to connect
Yeah.
everything. and not everything be a hot mess. You know?
You are not a hot mess. You are very, very far from Hot Mess Express, okay? You're very far.
I'm trying, but yeah, so
Yes.
it's yeah, it could be difficult, but I'm trying to have more of a focus and build one thing first, and then like my Facebook, it's getting built up more than anything right now, like out of the blue. So that's pretty cool. So I've been focusing on Facebook more now.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Once you find your community and your people and you just, like, keep giving them everything that
Yeah.
they know they need or the things that they don't even know that they need, but you know that they need, it's just like you keep nurturing them and that's
Hmm.
your people. So, I
Girl, my Facebook video that I've been sharing lately, my Facebook reel, it's over 400K views
what?
today. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you saw it at 100, 200, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Okay,
blown away.
viral. We have a viral post here. That's
Blown away by that.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's a simple video of me just talking about fondant and talking about my daughter. You know what I mean? Just whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
people wanna know both. People wanna know your real life and, like, the cakes and the fondant
Hmm.
tips, so
It
it's
all
like
goes together. It all goes together for real.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, congrats on that viral
Thank
post.
you. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's, like, you never know which
Mm-mm.
video is gonna go viral.
You don't. You just kind of just see and hope, and because
Yeah.
you don't know what people are really going to connect with. So
Yeah.
even if it's a negative comment or positive comment, like they were touched by your video, you
Right, right,
know. So
right. It
yeah.
came across their aura and they're like, "Hey, I like this.
Mhm.
Hey, I like this." And once a
Mhm.
lot of people start liking it, then Facebook feeds it out to more, people who
Mhm.
would be interested in cakes and the
Mhm.
algorithm. It's like, "Okay, algorithm, how how do we do this every time?"
So Facebook sends me a notification every time it increases my visibility. Since I
Oh,
said, if people engage a lot on your stuff and you're posting and you're engaging, you're responding to comments and stuff, like it'll send you a notification. Oh, you got engaged visibility. I'm like, okay.
that's
It's like
awesome.
that's another cool thing about it because it lets you know, like, you're doing well.
Right,
Keep
right.
going. So I need that push. So
Yeah, well, that push got us all those, views, so
yeah, it
congrats.
did.
I love
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh. So right now, what's your favorite platform? It's Facebook?
Um, yeah, it was Instagram, and then now it's Facebook is more, because Instagram is more, I feel like, businessy. Everything looks pretty. It's very business. I follow a lot of business people. I get inspired by a lot of business people, and then I feel like Facebook is kind of just like everyone. You know what I mean? You're not really
Yeah,
following a lot of business people. They're not. Some business people follow me and share stuff, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's more like the open world, I guess, in a way. I don't know.
No, I totally every platform, I feel like it has its own, like, vibe and energy. Like,
Yeah,
on
exactly.
TikTok is, like, completely different than, IG, then Instagram, then
Hmm.
Facebook. What else do we have? Pinterest.
Yeah, YouTube
There you go, thank you.
Shorts. Yeah, and TikTok I like because they'll follow you. If they like you, they'll follow you. Like they don't gotta think twice about it. So I think posting on there more often and everything will get that going. And people say don't worry about the followers and stuff, but building your community, building your followers and stuff, you get perks for those things on
Yeah,
on the platform.
yeah.
So that's why I do all of them, but you can't. You have to like focus on one, and then
No,
those people will follow you.
it's so true, and that also goes hand in hand with what you were saying earlier about, like, when you start and how to have, like, courage and do your research.
Yeah.
When you wanna go in on whatever platform, you need to know that platform backwards and
Mm-hmm. You
forwards,
do.
and,
It's a good
on
point.
TikTok, I didn't know, I mean, now I do, but, like, when I first was posting on TikTok, I didn't realize you needed to have
Mm-hmm.
1,000 followers to go live.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
Or you
there you
post
go.
a link. Put a link. You have to have so many
Yes,
followers. Yeah.
yes,
So you unlock things when you do certain things on the platform. So
yeah.
yeah,
My
because
my
I learned
next
that too.
yes, my next one I'm trying to unlock is Pinterest. I'm trying to get to
Yeah.
My next one on my mind is
Pinterest. Yeah, you
Pinterest.
got to be on there posting like all the time. Like I've gotten like traction on there and stuff, but I need to be on there more. I feel like my website and Pinterest, I need to focus, like take a month or two and just like batch everything and then, then come out like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So, what is a mantra, a quote, an affirmation, or something that you like to say?
Well, I really like Tony Jones. She's like a singer, poet. Like she's like does mantras behind like a nice beat, like and she'll like just say how she feels, like what she's been through, how she feels, and she just does it in a way where it's like, ooh, like I feel that, like it connects with you. But one thing that she does say in her songs, and it's like all mantra type of music. So she says, "The greatest gift I can give to others is my personal healing and development." So I felt like that was deep.
I'm like, I need to hear it again.
Yeah, the greatest gift I can give to others is my personal healing and development. The
Right.
greatest gift that you can give to someone, to other people.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel that on so many levels because your learning and, personal development journey, everything that we learn about ourselves throughout that process, it impacts everyone around us. And
It
so
does.
it really is the greatest gift. And she's sharing it on her, like like a main stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I love a good saying or mantra.
I love a good saying. I live for that. Like I like, Lord, please let me find a good saying today that like resonates with me to keep me going. When you're having a
It's
hard
like a
day.
little, burst of like energy when we get to like
Mm-hmm.
read something, or even when you're scrolling and you get some
Mm-hmm.
inspiration from
It
someone and
surprises you. Mm-hmm.
and it feels good in the soul. It feels
It
good.
does, yeah. But yeah, I really like her, and that's what I try to do. I try to do every day. I'm not perfect, but I try to have that personal development and that personal growth and stuff. At least when I get older and I'm wiser, I'm good to go, right? That's like my goal. Like I want to be good mentally, like, you know what I mean? Like
Well,
everything's going
everything
well.
you're doing now, is all growth. Like even like where
Yeah.
you were 5 years ago from now, I'm sure
Mhm.
like your 5 years ago younger self would be like, wow, I'm so proud of you. Keep going, keep
Mhm.
going. So,
That's true. Thank
love
you for
it.
that.
Ah, you're
That
welcome. It's
reminder.
It's it's so true, and, the time flies by, so it's like,
Mhm.
why not use our time to literally learn more about ourselves?
Else. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta live with ourselves every day. We have conversations in the mind all day,
Mhm.
back and forth, "Should I do this? Should I do that?"
Mhm.
And then sticking back, always going in with your values and just staying true to
Mhm.
that, so it's a lot, but, I think that the
Yeah.
whole self-development, personal development space and how we're taking that time to learn about ourselves, it
Mhm.
like enhances our life into we just live better lives
Yep,
instead
you
of
do.
like
Mhm.
sad and confused. And when I felt that the most was when I didn't know myself, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
It
Sometimes
does
it's hard
make sense.
sometimes it's hard
Mhm.
to like put that
Mhm.
into words, but
Mhm.
it's when I was like following someone else's path. And it's like
Mhm.
I'm doing all the things, but why do I not feel whole? Why do I not feel like me?
Mhm.
That's because I'm not being true to me. And that's why everything else feels not right. And so when we just like
Mhm.
take, it's not even an extra second, like it's a mission to learn more
It's a
about yourself.
mission. Yeah. Yeah, you are the mission. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it starts with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
it's
We're doing
crazy,
it.
but I
Trying to do
love
it.
that mantra and affirmation.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put that in the show notes.
Yeah, yeah, for
I love
real.
it. Okay, so we love our personal development and all of that, but like let's talk fun, just something fun.
Yes.
What is like a guilty pleasure that you have? We'll both share. So you go first.
Yeah.
What is like a guilty pleasure that you have that you do that you just enjoy?
Um, like my day-to-day life is pretty like the same, so but if I get to have a guilty pleasure is like going out to the beach or by the pool by myself on the laying out. You know what I mean? Just like being able to get up and go, get in the pool, get up, lay down, have my drink, have a
Yes.
snack and just like chill, you know what I mean? Like I'm not really a big like TV binger, or I don't really sit and eat snacks all the time. I mean, I
Mhm.
may have like that week every day I might have a cupcake or something, you
Yeah.
know, but have some type of chocolate. But I don't really do anything like that. But if I do get to have a good time and I do get to have fun, it's like I said before, like being around like food, music, barbecue, good conversation. And my real place, it would be like to go be like be in the sun in my swimsuit, chilling. You know what I mean? Like just vibing.
Oh, yeah.
If I could have that every day, that would be cool.
With that Florida sun, listen.
In Florida, right? I don't want to leave Florida for anything. Like everybody needs to come visit me, visit us down here.
We have
But
the
yeah,
ideal weather, let's be
we
honest. We
do.
really do.
Hmm.
I love being in Florida. It is, super hot sometimes in the summer, but
Yeah,
well, we're in
yeah,
our AC and it's
exactly. The AC is always trumping here,
yeah.
and I have asthma, and my asthma is actually better here than in
Ooh.
like in Pennsylvania and in North Carolina. Yeah, and
And
I go walking out in the sun. I'd be, you know what I mean, like, and usually my asthma would be done, but I do pretty well. Yeah.
ooh, well, that's like a good tip. I didn't know about that. Sometimes I have
Okay.
like breathing problems. It's not really technically asthma. I'm
Yeah.
sharing with you and all my peoples. Um I have anxiety induced asthma. Yes,
Oh,
called
yeah.
like shortness of breath. And
Mhm.
so when I'm feeling like anxiety and just very nervous essentially, I have a hard time breathing. And like I had to go to the
Mhm.
doctor and they did all these tests and they're like, "You don't have asthma. You don't have asthma. When do you feel this?" And so I told them this was like 13 years ago when I was in dental school, and I would,
Yeah.
like, be freaking out before a test, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, "Is
Oh,
anyone else feeling
man.
that?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "No." I'm like and, an albuterol pump later, and I can catch my breath, but
Mhm.
now we're in a much better place.
Well, that's good. You got your anxiety under control.
And it was all like, literally it all is it's a pathway to just, like, finding and discovering myself, and
Yeah.
I think mindfulness and meditation help to calm the
Mhm.
anxiety in my mind because a lot of times, like, I noticed that the anxiety was all from fear of the future, fear of what's to come
Mm.
next, fear of failure. And so it's just like all in the mind. It's all like a
Mhm.
story that we make up in the mind. And then it relates to like different bodily issues. There's different
Yeah.
like ailments and things on the body that people can get from, anxiety, stress, all of these different things that we hear about.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good to
Yeah.
know about the asthma. I had no idea that it's worse in like colder places. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
the higher up too, like it's bad for me. Like I have to have it. I have a rescue inhaler on me at all times.
Ooh.
Sometimes two if I didn't use one. But I have to have it because randomly it can just happen. You know what I mean? So like there's some other ways that it can happen. I'm not going to mention it because it's kind of gross, but but yeah, I can just like if I have like a really bad stomach ache or something like that and I get done, like I can have an asthma attack just from I don't know, it's just weird. Like I need my asthma pump. Not all the
Right.
time, but
Right.
it just depends on what's going on. The air, if it's hot and cold, that can trigger it. So but in Florida, like I said, I do pretty well. Plus I work out and stuff to kind of help like do some cardio to kind of help my asthma.
Oh,
Because
good.
I don't like having to remember to take it before I exercise or
Right.
like that's how it was in high school. Like all through my school years, I had to like at gym class, I had to go take my asthma pump, like and then do my gym, then do gym.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy that working out is, like, helping that.
Yeah, I never really worked out before until after I had my daughter. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're on a whole, like, weight loss journey and all of
Yes.
that. Do you wanna
Mhm.
speak on that, like, briefly, whatever
Um,
you wanna
yeah.
share?
Yeah, because I haven't really. I'm keep meaning to do a YouTube video about my weight loss journey, but I need to really like sit down and plan what I'm going to talk about because
Yeah,
it's so much,
it's
But yeah, after I had my daughter, so before I had her, I never had really insecurities about like in high school, like never really had any of that issues. I never was overweight or anything like that. So my when after I had my daughter, I gained so much weight. I didn't do anything when I was pregnant with her. I didn't go walking. I didn't. All I did was eat. I was so lazy. And it was my first year of marriage, so that's a hot mess too. So pregnant, first year of marriage, yeah, yeah. So it was that, and then after I had her, it took me like 6 months, 7 months to finally lose the weight. So I was 244 pounds after I gave birth to her.
wow.
Yeah. So I lost 100 pounds. It took me like 8 years to lose it, but I finally did it. But just like working out and taking my time, it's really hard because of all the insecurities. And in the beginning, I didn't really have a good attitude. I didn't want to take pictures. Like, there's no pictures of me making cakes. There's no pictures,
Um,
no video, no footage, nothing. Not even of my like side doing something. Like nothing.
no.
Yeah. So this was like 2013. This was a while ago. So I didn't start filming myself like that until like like a few years ago. It wasn't that, it was a while later because of my insecurities and stuff. So I had a lot to do, because like I said, it was my first time ever feeling like that in my life, being overweight and having to work out, having to eat right, and I come from a family where everyone's overweight,
Mm,
everybody, so
yeah,
you don't want that. I don't want that in my future. I don't want my daughter to see me like that. I
right.
don't, you know what I mean? I want to move my body. I want to, so yeah, I don't know if I
It's
said
a whole it's
anything, but
it's it's part of your journey and your transformation, you
yeah.
know? So it's like everything that you went through and like that's your journey and your story. So yeah, I would love
Hmm.
to like see your whole YouTube video, break it down. I
Yeah.
would love to see that and just learn more about it because it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, yeah. I went through a lot of like mental things in my marriage, and just everything was about my weight. I couldn't do anything because like my weight. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, look at you now. You look
But
amazing.
100 pounds later, I gained a little bit back, like, 10, 15 pounds. But that's good because people were saying I was getting too skinny, So when people start saying that, it's like,
As long as you're happy. As long as you're
yeah.
happy. Because
Hmm.
honestly, people are always gonna have something to say. So
Yeah. Yeah. They don't want to say, oh, you look good. They want to say, oh, you're too skinny,
or yes. It's
you
always one
know?
extreme or the other. Like, "Oh, you're
Hmm.
too, overweight," or, "Oh, you're too thin." It's like, "Okay.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
need to be happy."
Yeah.
Um, okay, so, like, sorry to jump around, but I
It's
was
okay.
supposed to say my guilty pleasure
Yes.
now,
What's your guilty pleasure?
and, mine is not the same as yours, surprisingly, being here in Florida. My guilty pleasure is, sitting with my feet up on the couch, and
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say it, and I binge TV shows like crazy.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I can do a whole season, which is like 8 episodes in like 2
Hmm.
days. It's bad. It's very
Yeah.
bad, but it's a guilty pleasure, and, I sometimes like to get lost in TV shows, also similar to, like, books. Like,
Hmm.
I once I find, like, a really good book, I will, like, just binge read it, and I can't stop, like, I can't
Hmm.
put it down, and when I, like, read books, it helps with, like, visualization, and I feel like I'm watching a movie, and it's this whole thing,
It
but that's
does. It does. Because you like picture everything in your head, like what's going on, like what the people look like and everything.
mhm. It's so
Hmm.
true. So that's my little guilty pleasure, and,
Yeah.
okay, let me see here.
Yeah. Me and my husband, we have our shows too that we watch. Like I said, we're home, so we will watch some stuff. But yeah, if I had a choice, yeah, it would be.
Beach. Beach. I get my son. Yeah, my son, SUN, when I go and walk my dog out in the
Mhm.
that's when I get my vitamin D.
Mhm. Are you from Florida? Like Miami
Yes, I was
area?
born here. I
Okay.
was born here and I lived here my whole life. Traveled like pretty like around the world,
Mhm.
but
Cool.
lived here. Yeah, pretty much just live here. Whenever I travel to somewhere cold, I'm like, thank God I live in Florida.
Yes. Girl, I feel you. Yeah.
I'm good for a few days in the freezing cold and in the snow,
Mhm.
and then I'm over it really quickly. So,
Mhm. Same.
yes. So tell me, what are you working on right now? Like any special like projects, programs, courses, workshops?
So I'm working on putting out I want to put out like a buttercream, like 101 type of thing. A lot of people have questions about that. So I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna like use a replay from the class that I did a while back and do the buttercream section for that. Cause you kind of really get a real feel of how to make it like real life,
Yeah.
and it's like casual. It's not so class. Like, hi, we're gonna make buttercream today, and you this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just real casual, and you know what I mean. And we're gonna make some buttercream, just being myself, and like
Yeah.
having that comfort too in myself and how I present myself on camera. Talking about cake decorating is really, really hard, and just being confident in what I did, because people paid for that class, so I just want to break it down and kind of resell it, but the buttercream
Absolutely.
part. So that way I don't have to record a whole thing over again because that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. And then like a another course of just like building your cake. After it's baked and before you decorate it, just getting that piece together. And then once you have that, you can do, you know what I mean? You can really, sky's the limit because you're confident in your actual cake.
Yeah.
So I'm working on those two things. Hopefully I'll have it done, have it done soon.
You
But
will.
yeah, I have my website, heavenmykake.com, and you can subscribe to my mailing list, and I'll be letting everybody know like updates on that and what I'm doing and podcast and all of that for the cake decorating. But
Awesome.
for the podcast, I'm kind of taking a step back and kind of regrouping on. I really want to batch some things and get that out so that way I can always have stuff out and I'm consistent. So just working on that, being more consistent for my community, for the community, for the cake community and the podcast and all that. So it's my goal.
Okay. So with that being said, tying us in, so
Mm-hmm.
tell us where to find you, your podcast, your Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, all of the things.
Yeah. So my cake decorating and my podcast. So my cake decorating, Heaven My Cake, you can find that everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Am I missing one? I don't know. All those main ones. I don't have Snapchat or nothing like that.
No.
But that's for Having My Cake. And then for Growing My Light podcast is YouTube and Instagram. That's it. I don't have a Facebook. I kind of started it, but I don't think I don't know if I want to do a Facebook account.
I
But then
mean,
I don't know, because it's just so much. So I'm just like, but and then you can also look it up at heavenmykake.com. I have a page for my podcast on there too.
okay.
So people can get like can kind of read about it real quick if they want to.
Right. Well, I'm gonna put all of those links in the show notes, heavenmycake.com, at Heaven My Cake on Instagram, at Growing My Light Podcast. I'm gonna put all the links below so that all of our cake, decorators and bloggers, and also for the podcast, we don't
Yeah.
just talk about cake on the podcast. We also talk about,
Mm-hmm.
growing my light, and you bring a lot of amazing guests on your podcast who I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people can relate and would love to hear it. So I'm going to put all of those links in the show notes.
Yes.
Lenora, I want to thank you so, so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your stories. And I really feel like our light grew today just from, being together.
Yeah, yeah, same. Me too. I always get this this uplifting feeling after, just talking and being on here, and I get to talk about what I want to talk about with someone that
Yes.
understands, like people like my husband, like he doesn't really know. I don't really talk to him about blogging and podcasting because he's just gonna be sitting there like, okay, but like with other people like you and stuff, I could really like talk, and you know exactly what I'm saying, you know?
Yes. I'm like, "Girl, SEO? Yes. Keywords?
Mhm,
Yes, I understand."
mhm. Yeah, so I love that, and thank you so much. I really had fun talking with you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So, as you know, at the end of every If I Don't Laugh, I'll Cry show podcast, we always end with a quote. And so today's inspirational quote is by Brene Brown. And she says, "We can choose courage or we can choose comfort, but we can't have both and not at the same time."
Mm,
And
wow.
the second that I read that, I was like, I'm raising my hand because
Mhm,
that's
mhm,
really what it is. We cannot have courage and comfort at the same time because
mhm,
putting our face out there on tutorials and putting um our voice, our podcast out there for the world to listen and hear, that takes courage. Doing
mhm,
interviews and guest appearances on podcasts, hosting your own, all of that takes a lot of courage, and we can't be
mhm,
comfortable. We can't. We have to
mm.
just do it. Just do
Because if
it.
I'm comfortable on here, I'm gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, girl? Like, you know what I mean? No, like we're having a real grown up
Yep.
conversation. We're actually talking about something, and we're gonna have the courage, and we're gonna speak our truth on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It's so true. It's so
yeah.
true. I'm here
hmm
sitting upright too. I'm not like laying
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
chair.
exactly. You too. You're not like you're showing me that, you know what I mean? Like you want this, so.
And yeah, it's true. It's all body language and energy too. Even though we're like not in the same room, we can still feel each other's energy and
Mm-hmm.
just intention. And we both are here for the same thing. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of
all right,
course, yeah.
love. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for
All right.
joining.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Bye.